we hope that you get a chance to sign in, and with that, we can stay in communication with you. I see my friend, Mr. Jemison, he's here, and so many more. We are here for one reason, to get some grants, and by getting grants, you have to have what we call an organization. The organization that we call is a public benefit. But up on the board, we want you to know that there are 3 different types of nonprofit corporation. Now, as we look at the next slide, it would tell you that one of these corporations is called a religious benefit corporation. This is not the one we are talking about. The religious benefit corporation is automatically tax exempt and automatically a 501c3. So we are not talking about that. Later on, you would understand why we're not saying the religious one, and religious is automatically tax exempt. Let's go to the next 2. Next one is what we call mutual benefit. It's not tax exempt. It is just like a C corporation. The same thing a C corporation can do, the nonprofit mutual benefit, they can do the same old thing. The last one is what we call the public benefit. The public benefit. Why we separate the religious from the public benefit? The religious is for Baptists only, Methodists only, Church of God in Christ only. But public benefit is for everyone. We'll learn more about that. As we look at the next slide, one of the things we know that you need a 1023 from the Internal Revenue Service to apply for a letter of determination. Now, as we look at a comparison chart where you can get a better idea of the different type of companies, there are 4 different types of companies. Each one has 3 different types of entities. One, we have the nonprofit 501c3. With that, there are 29 different types of 501c. But the one that is applicable to you is the 501c3. Column 2, you notice that it pays no what? Taxes, period. It is tax exempt. And the largest corporation in the world, ma'am, is a nonprofit tax exempt. And the president of that corporation lives in public housing. Ma'am, do you know his name? Obama. America is nonprofit 501c3. The city, the county, the state, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, United Way, everything you look at, the public school system, all of them are 501c3. And if you go forward, you can set up your own 501c3 and be on that level playing ground. Now, the next one on this board here is the DBA, is the one that I beg you not to go in that direction. It has no protection. It is the partnership. It is the limited partnership. And it's so proprietary. You do not want to go that way because it has no protection. You want to set up a what? Corporation. And up on this board, a corporation is 3 types. One is a C corporation, which is double taxation. The corporation pay taxes and the individual pay taxes. Then we have what we call the LLC. Some states prohibit it. But you have an LLC, is that the corporation pay no taxes, but it flows over to the what? The members. They pay the taxes. Now the next one is the LLC. We go down to the S corporation. It's an election. You go to IRS at the beginning of the year, and they will designate you as a S corporation. That's single taxation. That's the largest one of all. Everyone want to go S corporation. But the S corporation is passed over to the shareholders. So the money that is the corporation is passed over to that shareholder. So with that, they pay taxes on all the money. The corporation does not pay any taxes. The LLC, the corporation pay no what? Taxes. But the C corporation, they pay what? Taxes. But nonprofit, they do not pay what? Taxes. But the beauty of it is the nonprofit, you only pay on the $20 that that person received. It's not passed on to anyone. It stops at the corporation. Let's look at the next slide. The next slide will depict the most common asked questions. As we know, we want to know what is a what? Corporation. Corporation. Yes, in front of you we have a printout where you can just follow along with me. A corporation is an artificial person. This is a wooden leg. What is a leg? It's an artificial person or a legal entity. Remember, the only way to operate in the state, you have to be what? A legal entity. The only way you can operate in America, you have to be what? A legal what? Entity. So when you incorporate the Secretary of State, they give you what? A certificate for that corporation. Jemison Incorporated, INC. So that's the way that works. It can sue, it can borrow, it can file bankruptcy, and no one in the state of Alabama can have the same name that you have. Everybody got that? No one. You can file bankruptcy in the corporation name. Now, who talked for that piece of paper? Let's go to the next one. The next one is called, the next page is the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors, Salmon, you and I know they've said this, but still yet they play games with you. The Board of Directors cannot be sued, indicted, arrested, or sentenced against any illegal action of the corporation. That's why you want a corporation. Because like Obama, let's take Obama out of the equation, say Bush went over there and dropped all those bombs on Iraq. It was not Bush, it was a corporation called the United States of America, with his board of directors being who? Congress, and he's just what? The president. So you're going to get at anyone, you got to get after the what? United States, not him. Bush has nothing to do with that. It's the United States of America. So the board said, Bush, you have executive order to go in and drop and kill folks. And that's an act of America, and the Congress is called the Board of Directors, and they're the what? Policy what? Makers. Let's go to the next slide. On the next slide, we want to talk a little bit about churches and 501c3s. What is a 501c3? A 501c3 means you pay no taxes, grace. You can receive contribution, grace, and also you can get some grace called grants. Money that you never pay back. That did rhyme. So money you never what? Pay back is what? Grants. Grants is not with interest. Grants is free money, like you go to college, you get a grant or you get a what? A loan. But the only way that you can get this grant is applicable that you have the what? 501c3. Otherwise, you're not eligible. Let's go to the next one. Again, remember it means three things. Contribution, you pay no taxes, and you receive what? Grant. It functions just like the profit, identical, but it has more benefit because it's tax exempt. Now, are churches and ministry automatically tax exempt? Churches and ministry are automatically tax exempt. They need not to do anything. Everybody got that? You can find this, if the ones want to write this down, in publication 517, 17, and 557. But remember, Sammy, the best way to keep it from you is put it in the book, because you just won't read it. So we need to read what it says instead of what people are trying to tell you. Read it for yourself. Now, churches must have a separate 501c3. If you look at paragraph 1, 2, and 3, churches must have a separate, like New Hope Baptist Church, it's New Hope Community Development Center. But as we talked to the cafe, we stated this. We want to start teaching Mr. Jemison, or Minister Jemison, is integrated auxiliary. Today I stumbled on integrated auxiliary. Congress just passed it and said that they do not need to file anything at all. You know what I'm talking about, the 990. It is in black and white. And we were right from the very beginning. But I was rejoicing. Well, we need to tell churches they need to set up an integrated auxiliary. That is a public benefit corporation, and that public benefit organization is controlled by the church, but they don't have to report to IRS, they don't have to say anything, because we know the one that controls the money controls the message. So you don't want them in your church, because once African Americans lose the churches, we don't have anything. That's our backbone. That's how we got here. Civil rights, you name it, anything. The only person we know now is a leader is what? A reverend, right? Sharpton or whatever. Yeah. All right. Now, you want to get 100% of the grants. You have to set up a separate one. But listen to this. Grace, you must set up an integrated auxiliary. Churches do not set it up separately. Set it up separately, but attach it to the church as an integrated auxiliary where you would not have to fill out the 990. What is a 990? The same as your 1040. You report nothing. So you can't be held for tax evasion. You cannot be held for false reporting. You cannot be held for failure to file, because they'll tell you, don't do it. So that is very important. We need to talk about that more later on. Now, let's go to the next slide. In your booklet, let's turn to the next page. With that in mind, we have several things that we have to talk to you about, but the last thing I want to say at church one more time, churches must have a 501c3 to be eligible for 100% of the grants, but if they do not have it, they're going to be eligible for 2%, and those 2% is from Days Inn give to churches, Chick-fil-A give to churches, Cat the Truett, very few. But you want to take advantage of the whole pie. But the next portion is this, that can I receive a grant from governmental agency without a 501c3? Most time the answer is what? No. You must have the 501c3. So every time, Ms. Lewis, you apply for a grant, they're going to ask the question, do you have a 501c3? They didn't ask for a 501c13, which is a cemetery company, the last one to let you down, but they want the 501c3 for charitable, education, scientific, and nature. It covers all. Now, organizations must have that 501c3 to obtain what? Grants from both the public and what? Private sector. When I'm saying public, that's government. Government only give out 15% of the grant. Trillions upon trillions of dollars are from the private sector. Everyone in the private sector give out grants. From the banks, won't give you a loan, but they'll give you a grant. But you must have the 501c3. Walmart will give you $1,000 with the 501c3, but won't give you a loan. They'll give you contribution. You can go to the radio station, television station, Kellogg's, Pillsbury, everybody, to Michael Jordan, all these folks give out what? Grants. But you must have the vehicle. It's called the what? 501c3. And most important, Sammy, it's not what you know. It's what? It's not who you know, but who knows you. So you get yourself out there and you need to develop what we call relationships. That's the most important thing of all. And if I was in your shoes when you was on our national television, man, and doing that rapping and all that, I would have. You probably did it. Made it kill it. But anyway.
It's copyright.
Praise God.
I got a check yesterday.
That's beautiful. He did a great job. Next, let's go to the next slide, if you don't mind. Now, let's get started with the 501c3. We have two options here for you, ladies and gentlemen. One, we have do-it-yourself kit. Most of everybody in the city, Sammy, I have done over 500 in the state and over 15 to 16,000 throughout the United States with Creflo Dollar from St. James, from with the John Knight Church. He brought me on to do theirs. Down in Hutchinson
Street
did their 501c3. Jemison, Boltzmann, you name it. Everyone around here pretty much have done that.
I've been one for 5 years.
Yeah, and we get them done expeditiously.
I'm ready.
Okay. In this area here, we have a do-it-yourself kit, which I'm trying to get Grace to do, and Jemison have done this. Grace, they can't be your client, but I'm going to tell you this. You can pay $300, and you know him too? Okay, so $375. You can learn how to do it yourself. I take 2 hours to teach you how to do it. Or you can pay the $1,600, and we do it for you and guarantee that they're going to get approved. Never lost a case from Creflo Dollar, you name them all, from his restoration to up here with Stewart and all those folks. Even that big church up there with the car marker did theirs and all that. And people are prospering. Creflo had me to teach all his people grant writing, and apparently they did exceptionally well. But that's all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma, you name it. I've been there, done that, and so we've been around. Anyway, the 501c3, we'll be happy to do this. We have another booklet. Is that we said the best way to keep it from you is put it in the booklet. We have the same presentation, and we have it set up that you can do your own articles of incorporation. Now, listen to this. The effective date of your 501c3 is the effective date of incorporation. You incorporate on Friday, you can start for grants that Monday. IRS will consider you 501c3, and at the end of the year, they give you 27 months. So they'll give you, at the end of the year, you complete a 990 form. But just talking about what you brought in, where people can take that tax write-off. Every dollar you put in there, you can write it off. So that's the beauty of it. But last but not least, what we do, we write proposal. We teach grant writing. So we have a grant writing booklet here too, with terminology, phraseology, where grants are found. We go through the whole 9 yards of proposal writing. Now, what is proposals? It's the same as a business what? Plan. A business plan is the same as a proposal. Sammy, one of the things, you know, we can talk in tongues and speak in tongues, but mean nothing. And Grace is an educator, and a lot of things she said I don't understand because the vocabulary is so extensive. But we may say this: the sun doesn't shine on the same dog back end all the time. You all understood that, right? But if I say the solar disk does not shine on the identical canines posterior for a definite period of time, you may have some problem. But I said the same thing. The solar disk is the what? The sun. The canine is what? The dog. Your posterior is what? Your back end. So we are dealing with terminology and phraseology. That's why we have the grant writing class where you can speak the language. If you can't speak the language, you cannot function. So we try to teach you the language. We teach you the aspect of a program, goals, objective, methodology, desired results. We want you to look at that. Let's see, can we go back to the very beginning and get that one that we had originally? If you don't mind, I'm showing one or two things in there. And I'll go on for about 5 more minutes and let you ask questions if you desire to. As we stated, ma'am, we teach you how to do it yourself. The gospel of what? Self-help. And the ones that are Christian, we're supposed to feed people, clothe people, house them, and visit those that are sick and in prison. Instead of just saying, praise God, hallelujah. That is not what we're supposed to be doing. We got to get out and do some works. So we want to make sure that we have that. Now, as they are doing this, and then I'm going to say a few more words, and then we can come back and entertain questions. I have had an extensive amount of experience running medical facilities, working with the governor, Office of Planning and Budget, Management Review, industry and trade with Fortune 500 companies. Either one of it doesn't matter. 501c3 organization all over America. God has blessed me out of the University of Minnesota, many degrees, public health, communication, many others. But the most important thing, I want to serve God. And I believe that I got more years behind me than what in front of me, so I want to do the best that I can to make it on in. So my job is to share with you. As I was told the pastor earlier, I've spoken with him, I said Martin Luther King said, when he died, he wanted to be remembered that he tried to help somebody. He tried to feed someone, clothe them, and house them, trying to do God's will. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. You find that in Matthew 25th chapter, 31 verse. That's called the last judgment. So it's incumbent upon you to get out there and try to help somebody. Because when you try to help people, you will be helped in return. We have this for nonprofit. Let's flip to the next page. We're going to have a grant writing class. We're going to be talking about terminology, phraseology, where grants are found. And with that, for the federal, state, county, city. As we flip over to the next page and fly through here, we walk through you and tell you to look at publication 557. It says 4, make you familiar. We have you to go and pull out grants and application, call them RFPs, RFQs, RFAs. And on the next page, we have you to get envelopes, send it off to them, and make sure just like a mock run where you would understand it. If not, you can pay one of our people and we'll be happy to do it for you. That's the 30-day part. We show you how to put a letter together and ask them to send you their RFP, RFQ, RFA, which requests for proposal, request for application, or request for questionnaire of qualification. Next, we work with you with a review of everything you have gone over. The next page. We have the most common asked question as we flip over. We have gone through all of this for you. Keep going. Where you will be familiar, so when people talk to you, our people perish because of lack of what? Knowledge. Knowledge no more than information, but in all that getting, gain what? Understanding. So we walk you through all that, the next page. As we continue with that, and we'll go on to some questions and answers. And let's go to the next page. We also go through a pre-quiz. Like, for instance, let me test you now. What is a corporation? Mr. Jimson, you got to stay out of that. Okay, I know you already know all this. What is a corporation? Is it an office, a person, or legal entity, a non-person, or all of the above? Which one, A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? All right. Are you sure?
D is all of the above.
All right, it is B. It is a person or an artificial person or what? A legal entity. That's what we said. So let's keep that in mind. Now, how many types of nonprofit corporation are there? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? 3. Okay, there's what? Religious, mutual, and public. That's it. 3 different types. Is all nonprofit automatically tax exempt? No. You have to go to IRS with the public benefit. The mutual is just nothing, and the religious is automatic. Okay? You can be a nonprofit, but you're not tax exempt unless you're a religious one. Okay? Next, number 4. What are 501c3 grants? A, B, or C?
It's C. It's C.
It's C. It is a letter of what? Determination. It's a letter that IRS give you, and it's a determination. It's not a number. It is a what? A letter of determination that IRS gives you that says that you are what? Tax exempt. Now, let's look at the next one. In 95% of the cases, can your organization receive grant, contribution, and tax exemption with a 501c3 public benefit? Yes or no? Yes, because they can get 100%, 10%, whatever. The religious is only going to get what? 2%. So you know that's public benefit. All right? All right, see, there go the answer. All right, let's see the next one. All right, there go the answer there. No, I didn't do that. Great. And the next one, that's the answer. Let's go to the next page. All right. Does your church, yeah, go ahead and read it for me. I'm tired of time. Read it for me, please.
Does your church pay taxes or report to the IRS? No.
Okay, that's no. That's right. All right, next. The answer is what? No. Okay. Oh, that's too fast. What is a proposal? Everybody know what that is. A short because you're going to talk briefly about the organization. You get funded for your program, like child care, youth at high risk, senior citizen, before and after school program. You're going to, each program you put in and get funded for. Everybody got that? It's like your different departments. Next question. Oh, you can flip that one. I think you're going to flip over.
If he touches it.
Okay, did you already? Okay.
What are articles?
All right, who knows that? What are articles of incorporation? It's what policy and what? Absolutely wrong. Okay. Now go to the next one. They are what? Legal what? Document. Remember, you go to the Secretary of State and you ascertain your what? Articles of incorporation, which make you what? Legal. Now we got this one here. What are what? Bylaws.
C.
First, they're going to give you that answer first, which is number 7. Is what? Legal document. And what are bylaws is what?
Policies and procedures.
Correct. Those things can be changed every day, every minute, every second, every hour. That's by your directors. That's an internal thing with your policy and your what? Procedures. All right, let's go next. You did 100%. All right, let's go to the next page. Phraseology and terminology. I told you stuff is easy. We're going to talk about proposal. What is a proposal? Flip it all. That is what? Everybody know that. Let's go to the next thing and write the grant. Program or project, either one. What is that? That's like child care or youth at high risk. Short descriptive title. Then statement of purpose is what?
The reason why you desire this program.
Yeah, just tell the reason why. The next one is what?
Goal.
What is goal? Your end results. Now, what are objectives? Short term and what? Long term. You're going to learn all this in grant writing, and it's fine, okay? Next, methodology. Big time word is simple what it means. Remember we said speaking in tongues. Now we're interpreting this for you. Is what?
The method or how to.
The how to. Okay? Next, evaluation. It's something that is measurable. All right? Next, desired result is your outcome. They are not going to give you any funding if you don't have an outcome. All right? And the last one is your budget. It's expense and income and revenue. And the last portion is in kind, and we'll talk about that in the future. I'm going to stop it at that. It's much more. And if you choose to get this booklet, trying to whet your appetite, this is the booklet, got it all in there. But you use this in the grant writing class, is what we use. And we'll tell you about different things at the very end. With that, we're going to close it out and deal with you and maybe your concern, why you are here, and see can I address it. I'm saying every program in the world that you can think of, okay? So any questions at this time? We went over 501c3s. We went over proposal writing and also an opportunity for you to learn how to write grants for yourself, or we can write them for you. It's either way. Question?
With the integrated auxiliary, is this does that make it easier now for churches to form that public benefit?
Absolutely. A little history, Sammy. 1988, I had the Ministry of Economic Development over 10,000 chapters throughout the United States, from Bishop Blake all over America. Biggest movement going on, shopping centers, you name it. I set it up all over America. HUD brought it on and started talking to me. I had gotten over $2 million in Atlanta, Georgia, in homes. I got them for $1 lease with the option to purchase. I got 20 in, I just had fun with it, in Jacksonville, Florida. Got 20 in Fresno, California. Then I said, let me set up a real estate company, because when you own the real estate company, you're the broker, you're the salesperson, I'm the owner, I'm the one making all the money. So I set them up in Illinois, I set them up in California, I set them up in Memphis, I set them up in Georgia, in Alabama, and it worked beautifully. Lonnie Nixon was my first client here in Alabama, okay? And bringing in the money, I do nothing but walk around because I'm not licensed. But the one that's licensed is the broker and the salesperson, and it takes less than $300 to set up a real estate company. So that's all it takes. And every time they close the deal, they got to hustle, not me. So when they bring in a deal, I may give them 50%, made 10,000, I get 5,000, they get 5. I'm out in the Bahamas somewhere. No, I'm not over there, but I'm having a good time. That's the way you do business, all right? So the same thing goes with the HUD home. I got 20 in Atlanta. They said, why 20? I don't know, it's just a number 20. So I got the home in Dunwoody, Roswell, all the expensive places.